And?
Hello and welcome to A Gypsy's Kiss. I'm Shelley Carney.
And I'm Toby Younis. Thanks for joining us tonight. We're going to do some travel vlogging in Spanish. How about that new intro, huh?
Yeah, I thought it was going to be Spanish music, though.
Oh, no, not for the intro.
Oh, okay.
So, hey, everybody, I have to go ahead and entertain them for just a second so I can get this stuff.
So let me do a dance for you. You know, it was like a little Spanish dance.
Okay.
So tonight we're going to be talking about our travel vlog, but first, Toby's going to explain what happened to us last night.
Okay, so last night, it actually wasn't us. It was my fault. So we had planned to be on, but okay, backstory. In 1998, coming back on an aircraft from London, I had done a speech, a presentation at a conference there. I was on my way back and I had a heart attack. Didn't kill me, apparently. Yeah, I mean, as you can tell. Uh-oh. That was from Younis, New Mexico. Did you notice that?
Younis.
Yeah.
You didn't answer it.
And I wasn't about to. I don't know who's calling me from Younis, New Mexico.
Was that our 1-800 number?
No.
Oh.
No. Because the 1-800 line isn't open yet.
Oh, well, never mind then.
So anyway, airplane, 35,000 feet, one of the first Boeing 777s. I had a heart attack. Fortunately, there were 5 doctors on board, and they saved me. But after that whole thing, they put a stent in my heart, and they gave me about...
Red zone there. Be careful.
Where? Oh, am I too loud?
You are.
And they gave me about 5 years to live. So that was 20 years ago. Then, back in 2012, I was exercising on my bike with my son, Jason, and refresh it.
And it was a refreshing ride.
And it was a refreshing ride, and I hadn't had a lot of sleep, and I wasn't properly hydrated, and I hadn't had enough calories for the day. So at some point, what happened was I had the bonk. I don't know whether you've ever watched like triathletes as they get to the last part of the marathon, their bodies just collapse from under them. Well, that's a nervous system problem, and that's what happened. But at the time, the doctors diagnosed it as a possibility there might be something wrong with my heart because they couldn't describe it. There was no enzymes, no heart attack enzymes in my system or anything. So at that point, they decided to put inside me a little device that's a combination of a pacemaker and a defibrillator. And the pacemaker keeps the heart at 60 beats a minute, et cetera, et cetera. And the defibrillator, should I ever go into fibrillation, it shocks me at 400 joules. They say it's like a donkey kicking you, which doesn't sound like a good thing to me, but I guess it's better than dying. Anyway, once a year, I go see Charles Stark at the VA hospital here in Albuquerque, and he does a rev down.
Any relation to Tony Stark,
No.
Iron Man?
No, doesn't even look like him.
Are they turning you into Iron Man?
Pardon me?
Are they turning you into Iron Man?
With all the additional equipment, yeah. So anyway, he does several things. Number one, he downloads a whole bunch of data from the past year. Now that's backed up because I have a thing that sits by my bed that takes data every night and sends it wirelessly to a system in San Francisco. So if there's anything wrong, they'll know right away. There hasn't been anything wrong. I've had it in since 2012. But anyway, he informed me that the company that produces this device, Medtronic, had made some changes, and they were going to upgrade the firmware. So, and this is all happening with me sitting in a chair, and I'm holding a little sensor over my chest right here, and it's communicating with this computer. So we did the firmware upgrade, and then he was going to do a quick check, and all of a sudden, the system informed him that I was pre-heart attack, meaning I was about to have a heart attack, and it was going to give me the big shock. And he stopped it. He said, "Do you feel bad?" And I said, "No, I don't feel anything. I mean, I'm not feeling like I'm having a heart attack, certainly." Anyway, that panicked everybody, and I spent the next 9 hours in cardiac emergency, in the cardiac laboratory, cardiac department laboratory emergency, in one of those outfits where they don't tie you down the back, being examined, being compared, and eventually they got the software engineers at Medtronic involved, and they discovered a bug. And the bug was, and the reason the bug was discovered was...
Sleep with your mouth open. Bugs can get in.
Was I was the first one to have the new firmware transfer, and that's how they found out. Thankfully, it happened right there while I was sitting in the office, and I guess that's why they do it that way. Anyway, there's nothing wrong with me. There was nothing wrong with me yesterday. There was nothing wrong with me the day before. I do have this device to protect me. It's at some point I'm going to be so old and my heart is going to be so discombobulated that it's not going to be able to save me anyway. But so far as it hasn't had to go off, and I live a healthy and I feel like fruitful life. So I'm sorry that I when I called Shelley, I was just frustrated because we didn't seem to be making any progress. I kept being examined. They drew, I don't know, it felt like 1.5 quarts of blood trying to figure out if there was any enzymes in there. So they kept drawing blood, and they kept laying me down and kept taking my blood pressure and my temperature and all those things. And I kept saying that I don't feel like there's anything wrong with me. And in the meantime, they're talking with Medtronics trying to figure out what's going on. And eventually, I got home around midnight last night. But I'm okay. I'm healthy.
Okay, so short story long, he's okay.
Yeah. Long story short, I'm fine.
Yay.
Nothing bad happened. Okay, so this is our latest travel vlog. And by the way, we know that CowPro are on at the same time, and they're talking fence stuff. We're not. We just needed to get this content up because we're committed to getting it up once a week. And because of yesterday, we just couldn't do it yesterday, So we were going to do it tonight, and we don't mind if you go over to CowPro and talk Force Fin, because we're not going to talk Force Fin. We're going to talk
Winter Spanish Market.
Yeah.
In Albuquerque.
In Albuquerque. Now there are there's an organization in Santa Fe called the Spanish Colonial Art Society. My great-grandfather, Francisco, was one of the founders. And there is now also a museum called the Spanish Colonial Art Museum in Santa Fe. If you ever get to Santa Fe, do yourself a favor and go visit that museum. It's up on Museum Hill. And anyway, they have several events every year at which my two oldest children participate because they're juried members of the Spanish Colonial Art Society. So we always go to them, and I always take videos and I make photographs and I get pictures of them, et cetera, et cetera. And we thought, well, maybe we'd like to share this with you guys. So this is the event they call Winter Market. It happens in December in Albuquerque. And they use it as an opportunity for people to buy, some unique Christmas presents in case that's what they want to do. There's another event that takes place in Santa Fe. The big one is the Summer Market, the Spanish Colonial, or the Spanish Market Santa Fe. That takes place in the last weekend in July every year. And so they'll be there again. And they also do one, and I can't remember if it's like March or April, maybe even May, down in Las Cruces. So they cover all of New Mexico with these markets. And you'll hear more about the Spanish Colonial Art Society in the video. So I'm going to go ahead and play the video. And you guys go ahead and enjoy it. And we're going to turn our mics off for just a moment. And then when the video is about 8 or 9 minutes long. And then when we come back, we can answer any questions that you have. Oh, and by the way, if you want to send a text message, you can send a text message to the 800 number below us here, 866-597-9901. You can also leave a voicemail there, and we are going to open up the phone lines afterwards. So if you have any questions, you can call in and ask questions as well. Okay? All right, here we go. I'm going to turn my mic off first, and then I'll play the travel vlog.
Hi, I'm Shelley Carney with A Gypsy's Kiss. Today we're at the National Hispanic Cultural Center for the 30th Annual Winter Spanish Market. We're going to be seeing a lot of Spanish colonial art and artists. This is very historical, handed down from generation to generation art and crafts, including tin work, retablos, wood carving, there's embroidery, jewelry making, all sorts of wonderful things inside. There's at least 60 booths with arts and artists at each of those booths, and we're going to take some time to talk to some of them as well. Really looking forward to stepping inside, listening to some of the entertainment, and seeing all the great art, and perhaps purchasing something for Christmas. Let's go inside.
Traditional Spanish colonial arts are a body of art form that grew out of the Spanish colonists settling here in New Mexico 400 years ago. So they were recreating these Baroque and Renaissance memories from Spain, but with these rudimentary materials from New Mexico and the New Mexican landscape. So they have this very earthen feel, organic feel to the pieces. And also almost, although the artwork's very refined, they weren't formally trained artists, so there is an essence of folk art to the imagery. There's a sweetness to the imagery.
Well, I mean, one thing is that a lot of people kind of see it from the point of view of sales and retail, and it would put us all in kind of a competitive space. But actually, we're all family. Most of the artists here have literally watched me grow up in the society, watched me groomed by my grandmother, watched me come up in my skills and everything. And so it's kind of a homecoming every time we have one of these shows. The winter market is special because it's a little smaller, and the volume of traffic is down, which gives us a better opportunity to actually connect to people and speak to them. So that's definitely one of the big highlights of this show in particular. Another one is that we have such a small kind of space that we work in that the entertainment is just outside the door here, and so you can step outside and see artists doing live performances of mariachi and the folklorico and stuff like that. So.
For me, it's about passion and having a deep love for our people, our traditions, our culture. And the only way we can promote our culture is to make sure that we preserve our culture. And the way you do that is by telling your story. And like you do so well here, Sean, and all the other wonderful artists here at Market every year, you tell our story. You preserve and promote our story, our culture, our people. And that's the most beautiful thing in New Mexico is our people. So I'm honored to be here every year. I never miss, and this year is like any other. I'm here at Spanish Market and couldn't be happier.
I think there's like 14 different traditional categories that all go back to that Spanish colonial tradition. I'm juried into the category of Retablo Painting, which is a flat panel board with the images of the saints. It was a way of storytelling, keeping the interest in the stories of the Bible alive for the people that were here in New Mexico that didn't have access to books or paper. This is a way of telling those stories. But we actually are a family of tinsmiths, which you know. We go back 5 generations in tin work. And our grandmother, Angelina Delgado Martinez, who recently passed away, is the one who taught my brother.
You know, I'm connected to all my pieces. All my pieces have a story, and the most important part of most of the stories is the artist behind the pieces. And I have a deep love for the people that come out here and do this every year, and I try and collect as many small pieces as I possibly can so that I can have a little of each of you in my home, along with the saints that they represent. You know, the devotional art that is displayed here this weekend is some of the most breathtaking in the world. And New Mexico is really fortunate to have that be part of our story.
The next opportunity would be the Summer Spanish Market. It always happens the last weekend in July on the historic Santa Fe Plaza. It's a beautiful event. You're going to see hundreds and hundreds of Spanish colonial artists, and I like to think of them like an endangered species. In all the world, there's only a handful of each of these artists doing these art forms, and it's because it's this special moment where the history and of the colonists, the landscape, and the mix of cultures came together into the Spanish colonial art. So it's really a unique moment in history to create these art forms, and it's the only place in the world that you can see it. You're going to see the best artisans of New Mexico and the Southwest. We have people from around the region at the Spanish market. To be in the market, you need to be 1/4 Hispanic, and you need to have studied with a master artist. And we're only showing original work. So all of the pieces have been handcrafted using the traditional materials and methods.
Thanks for joining us for the 30th Annual Spanish Winter Market here in Albuquerque at the National Hispanic Cultural Center. We had a great day listening to wonderful music and visiting with some of the artists and getting to know more about their arts and crafts. So if you are coming to Albuquerque either in late July or early December, you can attend the summer or winter Spanish market. Or if you come during Balloon Fiesta or any other time of the year that they're having markets, I'm sure you'll find some of this work available in the markets and in the stores around here. So check that out. And thank you once again for watching. I'm Shelley Carney with The Gypsy's Kiss.
So, as some of you already know, Jason, of course, is my son and Sean, my oldest son, and Sean is my oldest daughter. And as I said, they are both members of the Spanish Colonial Art Society. I did want to share one other thing with you that was in the video, and I extracted a photograph of that particular frame. And let me just show this to you so I can explain. It's one of the 6-second long B-rolls in that video, and this is a photograph of my mother, Angelina, who taught my son Jason how to do tin work. She had learned from my grandfather, and my grandfather had learned from my great-grandfather, and that's where the 5 generations come from. My brother Paul was also a tinsmith, but he died when he was in his 30s. I didn't take up the trade. I had moved out of Santa Fe by the time I was old enough to understand what was going on. Anyway, this is my mother in 1939. She was 20 years old, and she was the Fiesta Princess. Every year, Santa Fe has a fiesta that celebrates the reconquest of Santa Fe from the Native Americans. Now, I won't get into a debate as to whether or not that's right or wrong, but that's what fiesta in Santa Fe is all about. And several of my relatives have represented themselves well as Don Diego de Vargas. And my mother one year was queen, the fiesta queen. And they didn't have crowns for the queen. They had never made any crowns for them. So she made crowns for each of the queens and her court. I mean, each of the princesses in the court. out of tin and added the rhinestones to it. And when she passed away a couple of years ago, back in 2014, something like that.
She's your mom.
I don't remember. I'm sorry. She left the crown to Sean, and she had it put in this frame with a photograph of my mother. So, and Sean, of course, tells this wonderful story about the crown and my mother, and they're just great kids, and they had this wonderful. They had a better relationship with my mother than I did, honestly. So, but they're both very, very talented.
I'm happen to be wearing one of the mini retablos. Sean paints
little
retablos,
miniatures, yeah.
and then she uses the original to create other works of art from it. And this is Saint Michael, the Archangel, and she turns it into a little necklace. So that's something nice you can do for like a little stocking stuffer. If you're interested in purchasing some of Sean's artwork, she has an Etsy store, and that's at Sean Wells Creates.
Right.
Is that correct? Of course, Jason has an Etsy store as well.
It's Metal Smith Shop, but Smith is smelled.
It smells like the letter
But
Y.
Smith is spelled with a Y, Smythe. So it's Metal Smythe Shop, and you can buy their artwork there for both of them.
And
again,
we'll put that in the description box if
Yeah.
you're interested. But again, they do have, like Jason makes Christmas ornaments, a variety of different ornaments, as well as Christmas tree toppers, angels, and that sort of thing. If you're looking for something, in that regard for your home, go to his Etsy shop.
If you would like to no longer hear from us, please press 3. Hello,
Sorry.
this is
I'm just advertising for your kids. It's no big deal.
sorry, I didn't expect that to open.
And then, of course, Sean has a lovely little Christmas gifts as well. All kinds of artwork that's she has the saints, if you're into the Catholic saints, or the Muerto
imagery,
work,
yeah, and
if
she
you're
has
interested in that.
she has gifts in both styles, both the traditional Retablo style and the more contemporary Muerto style. That is an organization. That voicemail comes from an organization who keeps, and it goes to our 800 number.
Okay.
And they're praying for me.
Oh, well, that's good.
Well, they keep
Somebody
saying pray.
needs to.
Yeah. And I don't know why I'm getting them. I don't know what I've done to deserve all that prayer. But she starts.
Kept
It's
you
funny
alive
because
yesterday.
she starts the message by saying, "If you're tired of getting these messages, let us know." So you know how I feel about.
And Holly
prayer.
thinks that your kids look like you.
Oh, thank you. They're good kids. They're great kids, except they're not kids
And
anymore.
they're very good speakers, too.
Jason is he's 47 this year, and Sean's 45. So they're not babies anymore. They're the oldest, and there's 4 more behind that one. So that's what we did. We had a great time.
We're going to open up the phone lines, or did you do that?
Oh, I didn't do that.
Yeah, so as you saw, in one of the interviews, Sean wanted to interview Brian Colon. And as you saw on there, we put his title as the state auditor for New Mexico. But you may be wondering, well, why would you interview the state auditor at this type of an event? So why, Toby?
He also happens to be a member of the board of directors of the Spanish Colonial Art Society. And he's probably the most sincere and sympathetic board member. Most of the board members are from Santa Fe, and they come from wealth. That's how you get to be a board member at a museum or a society like this, because you can contribute and you can get more contributions. Brian is just a really good man, and he goes to these events mostly to buy, as he mentioned, small pieces that he fills his house with. If you should ever find it, I guess you won't. We'll have to go to his house once. But his house literally is filled with the Spanish colonial art that he's purchased from these various artists, including several pieces from Sean at this
and I
show.
imagine the vest he was wearing.
Yeah, that's from Susie Gonzalez, and I arranged to meet with her so that she can make a vest for me. I want a vest like that. I don't want it in that baby blue color, but I've always wanted one. The problem is even the large ones don't fit my broadness. Yeah. So we're going to go visit her in January, and she's going to take measurements and make one for me because I've always wanted one of those vests. So.
All right.
But
they are very warm. They're like a horse blanket.
Pardon me?
They're like a horse blanket material.
Yeah, they're
so
very
warm.
wintry. They're all wool. So the phone lines are open if you want to call and ask any questions about what we did. We appreciate you guys being here tonight. And I know there's a lot of things going on that that relate to Fen. If you just want to watch the video by itself, we'll upload the video without the chat, all the other things, to our Video Tarot LLC YouTube channel. That's VIDEO TERO LLC YouTube channel. It'll go up there by itself. But we're going to continue doing these vlogs and presenting them in this way because we need, again, to continue producing content for Gypsy's Kiss. This week or next week on Tuesday, or did we decide on Tuesday or Thursday?
If we can get it done for Tuesday, Tuesday would be better, I think.
Okay, Tuesday night we'll show you our video of our visit to the
Petroglyphs?
the Petroglyphs National Monument, which is just outside of Albuquerque. So it's beautiful, again, another beautiful monument for us, and we'll shoot that and we'll bring that to you as well. And we're going to continue, again, we're starting in Albuquerque, but we're going to continue expanding our scope and produce at least one of these a week. We missed, the time. I don't want to say I regret it because I don't, but when you're looking for treasure, you don't have time for much of anything else except to do research and look for treasure and spend money looking for treasure. And Shelley and I are both, I'd say, well-heeled filmmakers. We bring different perspectives because she's a narrative filmmaker. She comes from a narrative filmmaking background. I come from a documentary filmmaking background. And so between the two of us, we feel like we produce a lot of good content when it comes to filmmaking. And we've done a lot of commercial work. I mean, that's how we made a living before we started A Gypsy's Kiss, was doing a lot of commercial work. And we've always loved it. And I have a lot of equipment that enables me to do that. And I just acquired some more. There's 5 or 6 unopened boxes over here.
Santa came by.
Santa came early. And I have my new 3-axis gimbal, the Osmo Pocket, showing up tomorrow. We'll share that with you next Tuesday. But we'll have a new video for you on Tuesday, and we're going to keep doing this, okay? Because we're having fun with it.
Yeah. Okay.
Last words?
Thanks for being here and checking out our videos. And that's all I got to say. Yeah, hope we didn't scare you yesterday.
I like the little chunk pumpkin on the dock in the back. Oh, you know what? That is one of my granddaughters. She's talking about Mila. So that's one of my... Mila.
Yeah.
What did I say?
Mila.
It's Mila. That is one of my granddaughters. Her name is Mila Carmen. She's my daughter Ryan's daughter. And that was taken in North Carolina way back in, she's 5 now.
Yeah,
so whatever that
3
was.
years ago.
Yeah. And that's a really cute picture. And then you can't see them, but there's 2 little tiny pictures of the new grandbaby, Everly, who just celebrated, I was in Boca Raton celebrating her first birthday. And then we're going to see him again in January because Shelley and I are headed out to the East Coast in January to celebrate
the capital.
Washington, D.C., to celebrate my 70th birthday with the gang. So I'm
going to spend some of that
assuming
inaugural funds that they didn't spend.
The $30 million disappearing inaugural funds.
All right. $30 million birthday party for you.
Yeah, that would be a good one. Okay, got anything else?
I'm done.
Say your good nights.
So, yeah. Toby and I are busy working on our Udemy course, so we don't have a whole lot of YouTube videos coming out right now, but we'll be back at it as soon as we finish this course and get through the next one. I think we're having fun with Udemy right now.
So, yeah, we had, I don't know if you remember her, Louise Croft, was the blonde English woman that has her own YouTube.
Digital nomad girl.
Digital nomad girl.
Yeah.
And she had come through Santa Fe, and she contacted us. We went. We had dinner with them in Santa Fe. She and her husband and one of her friends. And she basically just travels the world. And we asked her how she could afford that. We thought, well, you don't have enough subscribers on YouTube, right? Because I know how many subscribers she has. That's not enough to produce the kind of travel that you guys are doing. And she said, no, she does it with Udemy. And she has all these courses on Udemy that she said produce over $100,000 a year in income. And so we, of course, anytime somebody mentions that much money, become interested.
Yeah,
and so
we can do that.
she had a video on doing your first Udemy course. Not that Udemy doesn't have a lot of information on it. And we have a lot of information to share when it comes to production, to live streaming, et cetera, et cetera. So we undertook the idea of putting together a Udemy course. Shelley did a great outline that we started with. And we've been, every time we get together on Tuesdays and Thursdays, we've been producing additional content for the course. And we're about, I'm going to guess, a week, maybe 2, away from finalizing everything.
I think the first one takes the longest because you're learning as you go.
Yeah. But we uploaded our first test video. We uploaded a video for them to review, and they gave us a really good review. So we're very happy with that. And it will be our first Udemy course, and we're going to continue doing that as well. So we had to make a couple of decisions about where we are investing our time, and we decided we wanted to do the travel vlogging, and we wanted to do Udemy. So we've put everything else aside for now, including Lady in the Oracle. So,
which I'm going to get back to once I have my office set up. My daughter and her husband just moved to Austin on Sunday and Monday. We moved them out there, and they're there now. So one of our bedrooms has opened up, and I'll be able to set up an office in there so I can start doing my own live streams for Lady in the Oracle from there.
Good. Okay, so that's all we have for tonight. You ready?
Yeah, absolutely.
Say your good nights.
All right, thanks for being here, for all your questions and comments, and we look forward to seeing you again on Tuesday evening for our next travel vlog. And for Gypsy's Kiss, I'm Shelley Carney.
And I'm Toby Younis. Thanks for joining us tonight.
Bye-bye.